Hey there! On today's video, we'll be flying from Phoenix, Arizona to Burbank, California aboard a Southwest Airlines 737-700. Before our flight, we check out the controversial Chase Sapphire Lounge and see if it deserves all the criticism it's received online. During our flight, I'll also highlight what you can expect from a Southwest flight and some great views out the window. We begin our journey here in Terminal 4 at Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. The name Sky Harbor always has been a little odd to me, and after doing a quick web search, it turns out the name was from the original owner of the land, J. Parker Van Zandt, who built an airport here in 1928. As you can see, it's been modernized since then and is in really decent shape. It reminds me a lot of the Las Vegas airport with a lack of windows to keep it cooler inside. You can now access all the gates behind security, which means you can use any security checkpoint, but still look for your airline above the checkpoint because it can save you from a lengthy walk after security. The checkpoint was really efficient, and soon we were on our way to the newest addition of the airport, the D Gates. The walkway to the D Gates has a really cool floor design. Turns out it's actually an art piece by Susan Logoretzi. This huge art piece replicates a flight they had while flying out of Phoenix at dawn, and shows the city turning into suburban cul-de-sacs and eventually into agricultural fields. I really like this because it highlights one of my favorite aspects of flying, the views outside the window. Terminal 4 is home to American Airlines and Southwest Airlines, who combined make up about 70% of the market share at Phoenix. Phoenix is quirky because it has a Terminal 3 and Terminal 4, but no Terminal 1 or 2. These were demolished, and instead of renumbering the remaining terminals, the city decided to keep the numbering as is. The reason for walking to the D Gates is not to catch our flight, but rather to check out the Chase Sapphire Lounge that has received some strong, let's say, critiques. One hot tip right off the bat is to make a reservation at least 24 hours before your flight, but no more than 14 days out. My reservation was confirmed and I was escorted to my assigned table. My first stop was the cold brew on tap from a local roaster. This is by far one of my favorite features of these lounges. The table I was given was on the quote-unquote patio area across from this Airstream that doubles as a small kitchen. I decided to try both options from the trailer, and the food was flavorful, but not amazing. It did taste like free though, which always makes any dish better. Well, free is not the right word, especially with the new annual fee increase, but you know what I mean. At first glance, this lounge seems small, and that's because it is. Measuring at 3,500 square feet, it's one of the smaller lounges I've ever been in. I was still hungry, and I decided to head over to the buffet area near the entrance. I'll hand it to Chase. The food is not your typical lounge food found in most domestic lounges. The options included lots of different foods that all looked fairly fresh. And at the end of the buffet, there's a standard lounge espresso machine, which also uses beans from a local roaster. I went with the stewed meat with elote corn, hummus, and these pita dippers. It was all quite good, but as I've found with lounge food, it still never quite fills me up. After eating, it was time to check out the bar offerings. The beer options were not styles I would normally order, but good to see some from local breweries. I decided to go with the La Puerta cocktail, and it was very well made. If you are lucky enough to be sat at the few tables with a window, you will have great views of the gate area. Before we walk to our gate, here's what one of the two bathrooms looked like. It was very trendy and very clean. There are toiletries and sanitary items available, and even a changing table. I'm always thankful to have a lounge, even if it's a small one, but I don't think I would get to the airport early to use this regularly, nor would I pick Phoenix to connect through just for this. Now it's time to head to our gate in the C Concourse. To reach it, we'll use the walkways behind security, and it takes about 5 minutes. This portion of the airport is a little less new, but has some shops and eateries and is more than passable to wait for your flight to board. Right after arriving at our gate, so did our aircraft, which is an 18-year-old Boeing 737-700. This was filmed in September of 2025, which means Southwest still had open seating. This meant we had to line up at our boarding groups by the number assigned to us, depending on when we checked in. Soon we were able to board and off to hunt for the best possible seat. Luckily, this was not a full flight and I was able to find a seat very easily. Let's quickly look at what you can expect in terms of amenities at your seat. The legroom is fairly small for someone like me who is 6'4". There's a medium-sized tray table that barely fits over my thighs. and individual reading lights and air vents above as is tradition. In the seat back pocket, you'll find a menu card showing the complimentary drinks as well as paid options. On the back, you'll find instructions on how to connect to the in-flight Wi-Fi and entertainment. It was a very quick taxi out to the runway, and luckily we were taken off to the west, which saved us a few minutes of flight time. While we reach takeoff speed, if you're liking this video and want to see more, please consider subscribing to be the first to know when new videos are released weekly. It helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate it. After takeoff, we pass right by downtown Phoenix on the right. Because the flight time is just over an hour, the service started right after hitting cruising altitude. I went with my usual choice, a seltzer water. The flight crew also passed around these delicious pretzel twists. The lighting made the views out the window extra spectacular as we approached the Southern California sprawl butted up against the San Gabriel Mountains and eventually made our U-turn into the San Fernando Valley on final approach to Burbank. As I've covered in previous videos, Burbank Airport has a shorter than normal runway, which makes the landings usually fairly abrupt. I think it's so neat that at this airport you can pull into the gate straight from the runway. Are there any other airports like this that you can think of? Please let me know in the comments.
Inflight crew and Southwest Airlines, we welcome you to Burbank. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened with all your seatbacks and tray tables forward, upright and locked, and your carry-on items stowed until we park at the gate and the captain turns off the overhead fasten seatbelt sign.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And now for my favorite part of flying into Burbank, using the air stairs. A trick most locals will use is to sit in the back of the plane, because here Southwest uses both the front and rear door to board and deplane. Only do this if you're able to use the stairs. The front boarding door will have a ramp instead. Overall, this was a great flight, nothing special, but most importantly, nothing bad. I actually like the little Chase Lounge. If you can pre-book your time and have a low expectation, I think it's a nice addition to flying through Phoenix. I can see why people love to hate on it online, but at the end of the day, it's a perk from a fancy credit card, and this is not something to be that worked up about. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm off to find Jay Leno.